Hey there, champ. It's Thanksgiving. I bet you ate a little too much stuffing, huh? That's all right, my little friendly feline. You just sit back and enjoy this special Thanksgiving Greg Gutfeld Show. And please, please don't soil the couch. It's the question on everyone's mind in the weeks and months ahead. Am I as hot in person as I am on TV? The answer is sadly yes. But also, has Donald Trump paved the way for future celebrity presidents? Michael Moore wondered as much recently.
Democrats would be better off if they ran Oprah or Tom Hanks. Or why don't we run beloved people? Why, I mean, we have so many of them. The Republicans do this. They run Reagan and the Terminator and other people. Why don't we run somebody that the American people love?
Dude, if you want me to run, just ask. Stop beating around the bush. Though Moore could be on to something with Oprah. Imagine a president who did this all the time. That'd be amazing. We'd save Detroit. Though speaking of actors, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a registered Republican, says he hasn't ruled out politics. He told British GQ, which I believe is a magazine in England, quote, "The thought of being president is alluring, and beyond that, it would be an opportunity to make a real impact on people's lives on a global scale." He's already a political leader. I don't understand one single thing he just said. All right, my pick for future celebrity president, these two gentlemen. Those guys will be celebrities someday, I guarantee it, and then they will be presidents because of Mr. Trump. Fact is, while Barack Obama was the first black president, Donald Trump was the first entertainment president. And if that's not trailblazing, I don't know what is. Which is why I'm betting Oprah is silently fuming, as is George Clooney, Helen DeGeneres, Tom Hanks, and Peter Scolari, the other bosom buddy. They forget about them. Him. They got to be pissed that Trump pulled it off before they did. So maybe in 2020, you will see this merging of the performer and the political. The benefits, a diminished reliance on the hack bureaucrat, as fame trumps everything, which means no more Christie unless it's Brinkley, no more Clinton unless it's George, and no more Bush unless it's that horrible band featuring Gavin Rossdale. At any rate, I welcome our future celebrity overlords. May they rule for many years or until the robots crush them under their magnificent robot feet. Period. Yeah. All right. I gotta welcome the guest. I almost forgot. He puts the Fox in Fox and Friends. It's true, he's hotter than a tailpipe in a heat wave. Fox and Friends co-host Brian Kilmeade. His book, Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates, is now out in paperback, and I hate him for this. It's #1 on Amazon. I hate you.
New York Times.
Now, screw you even more.
Thanks. I'm your guest.
I know you're my guest, but that doesn't mean I have to be gracious because you're rubbing your best-selling book in my face. All right.
Why is he yelling?
I don't know. I'm just angry. He's so sharp, he sleeps in a block of wood. Democratic strategist Chuck Rocha. She's like a highway. She's like a highway in Alaska. Nothing but cold shoulders. Yeah, that's her. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. And a satellite dish. This is dinner plate TNA wrestler Tyrus. Yay. It's not always good. All right. I want to. Okay. What do you kill me? First of all, what do you think of my theory that he's broken the glass ceiling of entertainment, and now you're going to see all sorts of types coming forward? No? Yes?
Well, am I supposed to do the polite thing and agree with the host?
Yes.
Okay, can I do the other thing and actually answer honestly?
Yes, you can.
Here, I'm hoping for this. It all depends on how he does. If Trump is enormously terrific or fabulously fantastic, next thing you know, there's going to be people lining up saying all you need is an instinct to lead, and you need a little bit of fame and a little bit of charisma. However, if he crashes and burns, it's over. For example, the governor of California did not do too well. The numbers did not add up.
That's right.
He didn't know what he was, a Democrat or Republican. He married a Democrat, but he ran as a Republican. Next thing you know, his numbers are terrible, and the guy that replaced him did a lot better. That's not good for famous people.
Yeah, it is like Schwarzenegger replacing Gray Davis. They expected the Terminator, and they got Kindergarten Cop.
Exactly.
Thank you. I'll just leave right here.
Right, no, don't leave this.
But and remember Jesse Ventura. Oy vey.
He did a great job.
Yes, he did again. Well, Chuck, is there somebody that you see as a Democrat that could pull this off in 2020?
When I run campaigns, I spend a lot of time trying to take old white men and try to make them entertainers.
Yes.
A lot of times I'm like, they want to talk about policy. They want to put 3 or 4 different 100 paragraphs on a mail piece. I'm like, no. Talk about a slogan. Maybe make America great again or something like that that's catchy, right?
Yeah.
But they don't end up being that way. So I think that's one thing, honestly, that an entertainer has. They're normal. They're used to the camera. They're used to smiling.
Right.
They know how to act,
Yes.
right? Barack Obama had a little bit of that. When he got in front of people, he made people go cray-cray in 08, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you kind of need. If you get that with policy, it's the nirvana.
What about Oprah?
I like Oprah. I'd run Oprah's campaign. Oprah, I need a car, and I will run it today. I am a good-looking man of color who would be perfect to do this for you. Look at me, and I don't even have a car. I need a car.
Yes. How about Tyrus? Don't you think Donald Trump is the Rosa Parks of celebrity presidents?
Damn, no. Rosa Parks wasn't even Rosa Parks.
I know.
You know what makes sense?
Here's the thing about Donald. Let's not kid ourselves. Yes, he was an entertainer, but his process was 8 years. He started his campaign 8 years ago with the birther movement, and he started building, and he was coming out saying that things needed to change. So he built it from the ground up. Ronald Reagan was a governor before he was president. So I don't think so much as America's going to get caught up in a guy who says, I'm the most electrifying president and has a great catchphrase. You still have to be able to do things. And Donald Trump was an exception to the rule. Yes, he was an entertainer, which he knew how to get his message across, but he had a strong message that he built over time. And that's what made him so powerful. It wasn't like Donald just showed up and said, hey, make me president, I'll fire you.
You don't think The Rock couldn't do that?
The Rock is the same guy in every movie. Am I the only person who seems to notice that?
Is that a problem?
Yeah, I mean, and another thing is he does, like I said, he's the king of Hollywood. I get it, cool, happy for him. But I don't know anyone who ever goes to any of his movies. Does anyone ever know anyone who goes to his movies? He might be a robot. So it is a celebrity, but it has to be the right celebrity in the right situation, and he has to have something behind him more than movies and a smile and a catchphrase.
I have a theory, another theory, Kat, that there are a lot of people that are kicking themselves that they weren't the ones who did this. Some people that might be in cable TV, that might have very successful shows, maybe somebody like Glenn Beck.
Or John Scott.
Or John
I think Anthony Bourdain would be a great president.
Well, yeah, because he'd be high and hungover all the time.
Hungover with his shirt out. And, you know, he eats food in different countries, so what more do you need to know about different countries?
I want to run that campaign.
I would love to run Anthony Bourdain. I would vote for Anthony Bourdain. I'm endorsing him right now.
Do you know that when our show was on, his show was on? I just want to point that out.
Can we run a clip of Anthony Bourdain?
Yes, exactly.
I just said, that way we can get him out of there and he can be, when he's the president.
Yeah, we're beating him. Everything's fine. We beat him in the demo. That's great. Huh? No, okay. The benefits of being a big star, here's my other reason for why this is important, is that it doesn't just affect the American public. Foreign governments and royalty, and they fall for American celebrity. Kim Jong-un fell for Dennis Rodman, and he's not even a real celebrity.
Yeah,
he's not even human anymore.
Yeah, he is. Dennis Rodman marrying himself made more sense to me than anything has probably ever.
Well, he actually is a Trump supporter.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman. I like Dennis Rodman.
Well, I didn't say I didn't like him. I just said he's not a... Like, imagine if you had Tom Hanks go to name a troubled country.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Right.
I think he could solve it like that.
Right. Bulgaria's out of powerlifters.
Yeah.
And it's a tragedy. And please, run there if you can.
Have you seen Tropic Thunder?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, Tom Hanks might end up like that, where he's a prisoner somewhere performing Forrest Gump every night in some of these foreign countries.
I don't think like Tom Hanks.
Before you guys are so quick to say celebrities send him over to foreign cinema to settle problems, they'll end up performing
There's
every night.
There's something that you have to think about as far as the name ID. A lot of politicians spend a lot of money. Donald Trump didn't spend near as much money as Hillary Clinton did because everybody already knew him. It's a strategy that does work when you have 100% name ID.
And here's what really bothers. This conversation bothers politicians the most. You know why? This is their profession.
Yes.
There's a lot of people watching you right now and saying, honey, I could do what Greg does.
And they could.
But, that's not, you heard my, no, they couldn't, because you're a pro with rare talent. God's gift who works on it every day. You work 20 to 24 hours. A round of applause for Greg. He cannot be replaced. It's true. Unless, of course, he is. So, and politicians say, wait a second, I've been doing this my whole life. I've been working on campaigns my whole life. This is my moment.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden someone skates in from The Apprentice.
Yeah, you know what, I mean, Hillary is devastated. We're going to talk about it in the next block. Hillary is devastated not because she lost, but because she lost to Donald Trump. It's like, how did this happen?
Right, Barack Obama I can understand.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it is, like, celebrities don't do this. They don't walk into hospitals and they push the pediatric neurosurgeon aside and go, I'll take care of this.
Right, exactly.
Trump might. This is wet and gooey.
I said,
we'll put this over there.
Yeah.
We got another wet and gooey thing over here. Oh, but you know what? Every star in their head, every star in their head thinks they could rule the world, because that's the kind of ego married to insecurity that forces you to get into the entertainment industry, correct?
Because there's something lacking in your life. So what you do is go out and become famous and rich, and I feel so bad for those people.
Yes, me too.
Because there's an emptiness and there's a void. And, you know, we should be, if you see a celebrity, give them a hug.
Yes, no, but then you'll probably be tackled and beaten.
That's true.
Chuck, who do you see in 2020? Is there anybody that you see that is out of the ordinary, that is the Democratic version of Trump?
I mean, Oprah was actually a good choice. Everybody loves Oprah. Somebody in that vein, because normally stars have done something at some point to make somebody mad or do something stupid, but that didn't stop Donald Trump. He's the president now, so the sky's the limit, actually.
That's amazing. He is the president.
Right.
It's amazing.
FYI.
FYI, he's the president.
Is this a Fox News alert?
Yes. Every now and then you have to run the alert in your head and go, he really is president.
I can't believe we're doing this. We got 2 more months to get used to it. Before we actually have to.
It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time.
The most exciting thing is seeing the cameras on the elevators.
Yes.
24 hours a day, there's cameras on the elevators. You don't know who's walking in and out.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, a story so disturbing you wouldn't want to sit next to it on the bus, just like Brian. What's President Obama going to do after he leaves the White House? If I were him, I'd hang out at the Cheesecake Factory and work my way through the menu until I passed out in my own filth. So what's next for Obama in this political drama? Adopt a poor llama or just hang in pajamas? In the Bahamas, President Obama has said he and his family will stay in Washington for the next couple of years so his youngest daughter can finish school, which wouldn't have been awkward if Hillary had won, but she didn't. So President Obama's kind of sticking around in a town where the White House and Congress will be run by Republicans, but he's still beloved by the left. It's kind of like being the divorced dad that the kids still love after mom went ahead and married Donald Trump. Meantime, Hillary Clinton isn't playing for sympathy at all.
I will admit, coming here tonight wasn't the easiest thing for me. There have been a few times this past week when all I wanted to do was just to curl up with a good book or our dogs and never leave the house again.
I should have looked at that first. All right.
Probably use a full screen.
Yes. But the question isn't what happens to the Clintons now. It's what happens to the Democratic Party without the Clintons now. The DNC put all their eggs in the Clinton basket, but now that basket is emptier than a zombie's coffin, which, as you know, is empty because zombies walk the earth. They aren't in coffins, you idiots. Hence, empty as a zombie's coffin. All right. Tyrus.
Yeah.
Isn't President Obama kind of like the jock who just graduated, but he can't go play pro sports?
So he's like the creepy guy driving around in his car while all of us are walking home?
Yes! But it's not his fault. He could, like, they would like him to play another year of senior football.
Coaches are fighting hard for eligibility, because he was born at midnight in August. Yeah, I've been there. The best thing, I think, in my opinion, and like I said, I have a lot of respect for President Obama. I think the best thing to do is to ride off in the sunset and just move on. It's time, and just don't look back. You did the best you could do, and just go away, because
go away. Just go.
That's what I would do. If the house was burning down behind me and I didn't leave any fingerprints anywhere, I just keep. Don't look back, hon, kids, and just go. Just go. You did the best you could.
They'll forward the mail.
Just. Because everybody else you try to help, it makes it worse.
Yeah. And
because you're way cooler than they are.
You would just blend in with the crowd. No one would ever recognize you when you went down.
And just like him in Washington, he stuck out like a sore thumb. So it's time to move on.
Kat, I would say he should retire and play golf, but isn't that what he'd been doing for 8 years?
Yeah, that's
very
good.
Thank you. Very easy.
Yeah, that's
joke.
like being like Constitution, USA. Yeah.
All right, hey, hello, Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Democrats obviously have a lot of thinking to do about why they lost. He can be a part of that or not. Right now, nobody's really a part of it. They're all kind of saying, racism, sexism, James Comey. And even if all those things are true, you can't blame other people. You can, but you can't change other people. You can only change yourself. So even if they can't think of anything off the top of their heads, they have to really think about it. Right now, a lot of top Democrats are being like the friend who tells you when you go through a breakup, the guy's a jerk. You don't need a jerk. When they should be saying, maybe don't call 911 if he waits longer than 5 minutes to text you back.
Yes. Yes, it's so true. All right.
What was the question?
I don't know what the question. No, I was going to go to Chuck.
He didn't really ask me a question.
I want to ask Chuck, can President Obama run, this is how stupid I run for office somewhere else, like could he be mayor of Chicago?
There's nothing precluding him from doing that, absolutely.
Why doesn't he do that?
Under Obama, being the Democrat on the panel here, in the last 8 years, let's look at some facts.
Wait, are you insinuating there are no facts here?
Do you know what show you're on?
No, wait just a second. He's about to kick some knowledge. He's about to kick some knowledge. Pay attention.
Listen up, America. We've lost 11 Senate seats, 60 congressional seats, 14 governorships, and 900 state legislatures. Whatever we've been doing ain't working, right? So it's time to do something different. I worked for Bernie Sanders. We were a little bit of a resurgence for an old 74-year-old socialist. We almost won, all right?
I know.
So even that, right?
Yeah.
But we had a constant message. It's time to, as a famous guy once said, it's time to drain the Democratic Party swamp, maybe, right?
Yes.
And it's time for some fresh blood, maybe some Mexican redneck blood, but some new blood.
Yeah.
Somebody who's got some fresh ideas, who can relate with populist views, but also bring people into the party. And not just talk about how ugly and mean everybody else is, but how we all have a common struggle. Whoo, maybe I should run for something.
I think you convinced me, young man.
Right.
Brian, I don't know. I mean, where do you see Obama going? I mean, should he become like president of the moon?
Well, I don't think that position's available right now.
Well,
Who's got it?
He's broken new ground. Are you saying it's because he's black? He can't be president of the moon?
Yeah, please put me in that.
So
and I'll let you
typical.
know apology on Mediaite tomorrow, if you don't mind. But usually when I get someone in trouble, I get to talk. So wait a second. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think it's just the opposite of what everyone's saying. I think he's going to basically be running the DNC from around the block because he said they like me. My party has trouble with our identity. I'm going to be here, and I'm still going to criticize the current president. He's made that clear yesterday in his hour-long press conference. Here's what he did with Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama. He suppressed all the talent coming up. It's like when Michael Jordan retires, if there was no Scottie Pippen, wait a second. I've been passing the ball to the guy in the middle. He's been scoring. Now I have to score. It's going to take a while to get the talent back, a few draft picks, and I think it might be Cory Booker. I think Cory Booker has the best presence. He's got a bit of a background. He actually has experience. And he was told, get out of here for 8 years. Now I think the senator from New Jersey's got the best shot if I was to pick somebody right now.
The average age of Democratic leadership is 78 years old.
Is that amazing? And it used to be the Republicans that were the old guys and the Democrats young, and it's somehow...
I was running the Young Guys campaign, 74, Vermont. He was whippersnapper getting in there.
Exactly. I have a feeling, also about Hillary and Bill. I think the worst case scenario for them is that they're stuck with each other.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And the Energizer.
Yes. I don't think the speeches are going to be flooding in anymore. Nobody wants to pay $250,000 to somebody who lost.
Twice.
Twice.
2 times.
She lost twice. Yes.
Deuces, yeah.
Yes.
The foundation's going belly up. I hear the donations have stopped. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how weird.
Yeah, it's almost
weird.
as if they only wanted to donate when they thought she might have some kind of influence.
Exactly.
Well, I think there is a future with Chelsea.
That's what there's some rumors that she's going to move up. But she's going to have to speak at some point. I mean, eventually. Then you need a slogan. First, you got to speak up. You got to say something.
She is.
Is she old enough that we could actually talk about it?
Yeah, I think she's in her 30s now, right? Yeah, we can talk about it.
She's got a baby.
She's got a baby.
Amy Carter just got freed up about 2 months ago.
I love Amy Carter.
Right, she's fantastic.
Don't talk about Amy Carter. Hang on now. They're getting crazy. Georgia, good Southern. Oh, that's where she's from.
I'm just saying, I don't know what she said either.
Well, I don't know. You know what? There are kids coming up. The Obama kids in about 10 years are going to be in their 25, 30. You know, they could be another layer of politics.
Absolutely. No, I think Michelle, she looked tremendous in the last month to see her. Very natural, don't you think?
She could, yes.
Yeah.
The Hispanic caucus in Congress will be the largest it's ever been. 8 new members, Latino members elected to Congress. New leadership is coming up, but like you said, it may take a few cycles.
Like who's standing?
Ruben Gallego, Marine.
Come on, don't you know Ruben?
Everybody knows Ruben.
One of my favorite sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ruben is my phone.
I'm trying to wrap this up, kids, because we got more to talk about. Coming up, a story so hot, you'll need oven mitts for your eyeballs. What's the worst holiday movie of all time? If you said Human Centipede, you'd be wrong. So it's still November, but it is officially Christmas season, which means 2 things. 1, double the usual amounts of fist bumps from Bill Hemmer. Very excitable young man.
He doesn't even know you.
I know. Or maybe he knows me too well.
Oh.
And 2, cable shows that have segments about the best Christmas movies of all time. Screw that. Instead, let's ask, what's the worst Christmas movie of all time? Well, that's easy. Love Actually. We will now play all 120 minutes of the movie in its entirety.
Please don't.
Oh, hi.
Who is it?
Well, it felt like 2 hours. The segment is over. We'll be right back. Actually, I kid. I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. But I'm going to give you my list of the most overrated Hollywood movies. All of them. They all stink. Think about it. A movie can't be designed as a holiday movie and be great. Instead, a great movie has to end up being a holiday movie. It's why Christmas with the Cranks was so bad, but Christmas with the Cranks 2 was so great. Because nobody expected it. All right, Kilmeade, I have a feeling you have something to show us.
Yes, I have. Well, you want me to go to the worst Christmas movie ever?
Yeah.
Show of hands in the audience. How many people saw Christmas with Muscles?
No.
It is starring Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
Hulk
I
Hogan,
love that.
It is fantastic.
Can I ask you,
and,
he didn't
and Ron
make this-
Howard's younger brother, who's Gentle Ben?
He didn't make this movie with his wife and his best friend.
No,
Okay.
that was more. That's more
'Cause
surveillance.
There were muscles in that as well.
Right, yeah, we
there was a
could
few
dare that.
I didn't want to see.
But you gave me power in the break to toss to a clip.
Yeah,
Is that power?
toss to a clip,
By the
young
power
man.
vested in me, let's say a clip of Christmas with Muscles.
Someone's been very naughty.
What are you gonna do about it, Santa? Give me a lump of coal? How about 2 lumps?
By the way, that's called Santa with Muscles, not Christmas with Muscles.
Oh, Santa with Muscles. I messed it up. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You just got word from our fact checker?
No.
All right.
I saw it up there.
Oh, you saw it up there.
It's up on the screen.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I learned to read in the 1st grade.
I apologize. You can't mock your guests like this. You mock all
you'd
your
be
guests.
surprised.
If I couldn't mock my guests, I'd have nothing in life.
What would Christmas be without a big guy throwing other people around?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm with you, buddy. All
right,
Tyrus,
another day.
I want to tell you why I hate Love Actually, and it's because of that scene where the guy's holding the cardboard with the writing on it, and then the next 10 years, that's all you saw in commercials and in videos. They would always have people writing. Well, I hated that.
Well, first of all, I think you two ruined that first.
Yeah.
When they do that, first of all, you're missing forget the signs.
Yeah.
You don't know mow another man's lawn. That was his best friend's girl.
Yeah, it's true.
Why was anybody else offended as I was? That whole movie was full of just terrible things. Leon Lee teaches his son to be a terrorist, running through the airport without going through TSA. I mean, how is that a Christmas? That movie was terrible. The only movie worse than that was Elf.
Yeah.
I hated Elf. Like,
Elf was great.
Oh, it was terrible.
No, yeah, I hate
Elf.
She's too precious, that girl.
There's only one Christmas movie as far as I'm concerned, and that's A Christmas Story. That is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Hands down, stands up, watched it last night. Love that movie.
I've never seen Love Actually.
Yeah, well,
and you shouldn't.
I don't want to. I don't watch movies with love in the title unless murder is also in the title. If it was like Love Actually Murder, then I would be like, yeah. No.
I also don't like the comma.
No, I don't.
Why is the comma in there? Because it's precious. Love, comma, actually. Oh, how, ooh, that makes me think.
Yeah.
Shut up.
My favorite Christmas movie is Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
It really gets me in the spirit. Thank you.
It has a good moral to that.
Yeah.
Chuck,
what happened?
What is your least favorite holiday movie? And tell me what you might like. It's a holiday movie.
The one that I dislike was the Grinch that stole Christmas. Nobody should have a life-size plushie toy scaring little kids at Christmas time.
Yes.
I did that for 6 years.
Someone tell that to my Uncle Mike.
I'm just saying, the all-time best of all times was that horribly animated Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
That is like, I remember as a little boy sitting there watching it, right?
Yeah.
And then the movie that probably should be made a Christmas movie is probably The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, because that is Christmas at my home.
They're very good. You know what I like holiday movies that you watch with your family that have surprising nudity in it, just because the discomfort that it causes.
If it catches it by surprise.
Like, for example, I don't know if I saw The Crying Game with my mother. There's a scene that is completely unexpected in that we actually saw it in the theaters. In San Carlos, California. It was in 1992.
Really?
And there's an interesting scene. You have to be fairly forward-thinking to accept it, but we were just, and then it happened, and anyway.
Right. It brought you two closer.
Right.
The most underrated Christmas movie, Fred Claus. Because no one ever thinks about Santa's brother, Fred Claus.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic with a great ending.
Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn.
I love Vince Vaughn.
Do you remember that?
Wait a minute, can we just go back? When you and your mom were in the movie theater with a dude curled up because he found out the love of his life was Caitlyn Jenner? Like, that's,
yes.
Oh, wow. That's,
yes. That, Crying Game was a decent film, if I remember correctly.
but not with your mom.
Well, we didn't know. We didn't know. I didn't know. Or maybe
you knew.
All right, I gotta go. More stuff. Coming up, a story so explosive, we advise you to cover yourself in Kevlar. We discuss the stories of the month with our Agreeable correspondent. Plus, what's offensive about apple picking? I don't know, but leave it to Kat to find something.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
Yeah. So when he takes over in less than 2 months, will President-elect Trump become more moderate? Indeed, we've seen signs that Mr. Trump could be softening on some things. Joining me to discuss this and other important stories is our Agreeable correspondent, Jerry Carbondale. Yes. Jerry, good to see you again. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, great, Greg. Fantastic. Family, friends, great food.
Really? You didn't spend it arguing with relatives?
Yes, I did, and it was horrible. A lot of tears. I say the dinner table is no place for politics, Greg.
But then when else will you ever talk about important issues with your family?
It's very important to talk about things with your family, Greg, and I think no better time than the holidays.
Wow. So what do you think about this more moderate Trump?
I think it's a great idea. You know, we're a divided country, Greg. It's time to heal.
But what if he breaks campaign promises? Doesn't that make him just like every other president, which he promised he wouldn't be?
You know, you're not going to bring people together by going soft.
Yes.
Trump should stick to his principles, Greg. That's what we need right now.
But then he could alienate half of America who already fear a polarized nation.
That's true, Greg. What you just said, I agree with that.
Yes. All right. I don't know what you agreed with, but that brings me to my next question. Do you think he'll actually build the wall?
Yes, no question. He has to. We got to have a wall, Greg. He promised a wall. He's going to build the wall. We will accept nothing less.
But he seems to be wavering on it. He said it could be just a fence in some areas.
A fence is a wall, Greg.
Really?
Yes, I've always said that. A fence is a wall, and a wall is a fence.
I never heard you say that, Jerry.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite quotes, Greg. In fact, I've had it framed. It's hanging on my bedroom fence at home.
Jerry, as always, you've confused me.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome. I'm happy that you're happy. All right. Thanks, Jerry. As always, you're predictably inconsistent. So, apple picking, right? Huh? Harmless fall tradition for all ages, or the most controversial all-American pastime you never knew about? We sent Katherine Timpf to bite through the waxy surface.
Apple picking seems like an innocent fall tradition, but it may be rotten at the core. Let's find out. How do you know that the trees actually consent to having the apples picked off of them?
I'm actually not sure at all.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea.
You think that's
I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
You think it's okay for people to just pick parts off of your body and turn them into butter and pie? No.
Oh, God.
My logic is solid. The only apple native to North America is the crab apple. Are you concerned that maybe these apples over here have not been properly vetted before coming to this country?
Nope.
No?
I'm sure they had a good inspection prior to coming over here. I'm sure they weren't just allowed, free housing and everything.
Oh, I don't know where you are politically, but I'm a little concerned that maybe we're not properly vetting the foreign apples we're letting into this country. Are you concerned about this?
I feel like any apple.
Yeah. Do you think they should have to take a citizenship test?
No.
Religious test?
No.
Look, I think we need to be more careful than that, but whatever. It's your country, you know? You notice that there's no Granny Smith apples around at all? Do you think that's ageist and sexist?
I think it is.
Right? The female apples reach a certain age and all of a sudden nobody wants them around anymore. That's true.
Younger the better. Younger the better.
So if an apple day keeps a doctor away, why do we need Obamacare? So you're the manager here, where they pick the apples off the trees.
Yep.
And you think that that's good?
Well, it's not so great for the trees. We get a lot of broken branches and apples dropping to the floor that are wasted eventually. So for the trees, it's not great, but for little kids and families, it's a great experience.
How do you sleep at night?
I never looked at it that way. Where was that again?
I don't know. I was on the train for a long time.
You're on the train for a long time. We probably spent quite a bit of money for you to do that segment.
Yeah, it was worth it, though.
Well, thank you for that, Kat. I've learned nothing. As always. Coming up, we discuss the best toys of all time. Stick around. The National Toy Hall of Fame has announced this year's inductees, and once again, poison darts were tragically overlooked. It's a toy where I come from. Instead, joining the 59 other toys in the hall are Dungeons and Dragons, ooh, scary. Fisher Price, Little People. I fell on one of those once. What I told the doctor. And, of course, the swing. I have one of those. It fits 5 people. Toys are judged on 3 main criteria. They must be at least 20 years old, be highly recognizable, and foster creativity and learning. It's also the same criteria I have for my masseuse. Other finalists this year included Care Bears, the game Clue, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which I loved, Transformers, and of course discarded oyster shells for the poor kids who live by the sea. We always laughed at the poor kids by the sea. All right, Chuck, I don't know how old you are. I'd put you maybe 42.
Close.
All right. So that has a lot to do with the favorite toy.
Right. I was thinking that of all the little toys, but then I thought, what was the thing I looked forward to and I enjoyed the most as a child growing up in rural East Texas? Was my Daisy BB gun.
Yes.
That Daisy BB gun. When you got that thing, man, it was like you were the emperor of the world. You got that pack of BBs and you put them in your mouth. Then you shot them into the BB with spitting all right. And it was the one-cock BB gun.
I hear you.
I mean, I was the bird's worst nightmare.
Yeah. BB guns were amazing. Although I would always feel self-loathing if I ever shot anything. You know?
Not me. I killed a lot of things. It was fun.
Did you promise not to shoot people? Because when we got our guns, we had to promise not to shoot each other.
We had BB gun fights in my neighborhood. We shot each other. We put all the clothes on. We could get on and then shoot each other.
Right now, they'd be suing each other if that's happening in anybody's neighborhood.
Kilmeade, I felt that some of these are, the swing to me is very boring until you're an adult. But what about you? What was your toy as a child?
Well, it was G.I. Joe's.
Yeah,
the Kung Fu grip, the Eagle Eye. It was something to build on, and also something you and I share together. We also had Hot Wheels.
Yes.
Hot Wheels were collected in a little canister.
Yes.
We had inspections in my house once a month to see how they're doing.
Yes.
And then we used to race them. You were not able to actually afford a track. Is
That's
that
right.
correct?
That's right.
What did you do with your Hot Wheels if you couldn't race them?
If I told you, I have the X-rays. You know, I like toys that I got from gas stations. Remember when you'd go to a gas station and they'd give you like a truck? Cats?
No.
Hess.
Yeah,
Hess truck.
No. Yeah, Hess truck. Or like you get you get like a little car with the name of the gas. I like that. Kat, how about you? Did you have a favorite toy? Or I envision you being alone a lot in a room.
Okay, well, yeah, actually, I loved that. But my favorite thing to do is I would take sticks from the yard.
Yes.
And I'd put two of them together like this.
Yeah.
And I'd put them all in a wagon, and I'd take them to my neighbors and be like, look, it's a cross, and try to sell it to them. So my favorite childhood toy was capitalism.
Wow. Interesting, Tyrus. You know, you're a large man with a lot of toys.
I'm just terrified about her childhood. I'm not afraid of a lot of things, but I am afraid of you.
Some stuff.
Over and over.
Yeah, I scoot. By the end of the show, I'm usually over there. This is a good one this week.
Yeah, there's some stuff. Yeah.
I still collect toys to this day. You know, Godzilla was, Transformers were mine, He-Man. Me and my brother, that's how we dealt with stuff. We played with toys all the time. We played outside. And that's why I'm so upset that Dungeons & Dragons got in. I actually think Dungeons & Dragons was the worst game ever created, and it started the revolution of not going outside and playing anymore. It was everyone would sit on their butt and pretend and not deal with real things, not go outside and play, because you might fail. You might not. Yeah, even, you know what, even the weird, creepy stuff you did, you still had to go outside and do it. But once Dungeons & Dragons started, you no longer had to be counted. You just could be a elf lord and I'm so tough without actually doing things in life. And it just started the internet trolls we have today who sit on their computer and talk about how tough they are all the time, don't actually go outside and do nothing and live in their parents' things. It's all Dungeons & Dragons' fault. And the fact that it got in there just drives me crazy.
Hey, Greg, I don't want to, it's your show.
I like to roll the dice. Thank you. Thank you.
But I think we have to call Keith Avila. Dr. Keith Avila. This is a therapy session.
Oh, no, I'm just keeping it real. I like to take those dice and whoop some of those dudes' asses right now.
I would argue that some of these things keep unusual people off the street. So if they're indoors playing in a basement, that means they're not in your way. I think the greatest toy ever is your imagination. I can spend hours, sometimes days, just coming up with things. Mainly because I had no choice as a child, because I
friendless.
I was friendless, and I spent a lot of time in an institution.
Right.
But I always felt that I didn't really need many toys.
Really?
I think toys are overrated.
I never heard that expression ever before.
That's what my parents would say come Christmas. They go, oh, toys are overrated. Well, Daddy, what is this? It looks like an empty bottle. Once you find a ship, you put it in there. I gotta go.
Right.
Gotta get to the racetrack. Anyway.
This has gone totally off the rails.
I know. I don't know. I like talking about toys because it's about your era. It's always about when you grew up. So it was like I liked Smash Up Derby. Remember Smash Up Derby? See, nobody does. It's the two cars that hit and everything falls apart.
Do you remember the Happy Days Malachi Brothers? That was the Smash Up Derby.
Really?
Yes. Do you watch Happy Days?
I love how much younger I am than all of you.
It won't last much longer.
I know. I'm worried. Especially because I'm a woman I'm like 20 years ahead of what a man's age is.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call it a man's world.
Yep.
I'm against that, by the way. Yeah. Should be a guy's world. All right. Don't go anywhere. Final thoughts up next. Well, we're running out of show, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Brian, you got anything to add?
Meet me in Jacksonville December 9th. That means you and everybody else. I'll be on, go to WOKV.com, one of our radio affiliates, because I have this radio show that everyone listens to. And I'm going to be signing Thomas Jefferson, the Triple E Pirates. You got to get tickets first in WOKV.com.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Right. I wish you meant it. I wish you meant it.
All right, Chuck.
www.solidaritystrategies.com. Listen to the Rocha Revolution podcast. Imagine that. Mexican redneck worked for Bernie. It's called Rocha Revolution. It's unique, I know. Tune in. It's funny. Me and my son actually do it together. We give two different perspectives, the old man and the young people.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of young people, and Tyrus.
I'd like to give a shout out to whoever invented the mini marshmallow.
Yeah.
Because that seems to make potato casserole, sweet potato casserole, just awesome. So whoever you are, I know you're gone and not here anymore, but good looking. You took something that was great and made it special.
I think it was Edison.
You know.
It was Edison?
Yeah, Thomas Edison was a great inventor. Yeah, did the mini marshmallow.
No, I feel like that's off. I feel like it's off.
Edison stole his ideas. Remember, he stole it from Tesla.
Yeah.
Cat?
I ate a whole pie one Thanksgiving when I was a child, and then I threw up, and then I got grounded because they knew I ate a whole pie.
Wow. Well, you should have thrown up the evidence somewhere where they couldn't find it.
I know. I get busted every time.
All right. Well, that's a lovely Thanksgiving idea. Yeah. Thanks to Brian Kilmeade, Chuck Rocha, Tyrus, Katherine, and our studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.